If you have watched any of our videos, you know that to me, geography knowledge is a very important uh, important thing to know. I can and I've used our system to learn continents and oceans, the 50 states, countries of the world. I encourage teachers to use this system because those games are free to help them learn and teach countries of the world. So last night I was at a sports bar watching. They had a soccer game on Mexico and in Honduras, and the guy next to me, he's sitting there watching all the TVs they've got there, and so he said to me, he said, "What did you used to do in your career?" And when someone asks that question, it's because they want to tell you what they did in their career. So we got into a really neat conversation. I started off by telling him it's not something I used to do. It's something I still do. Even at my age, I still get in and work with the software, making games to learn countries of. Right now, my biggest project is learning the 254 counties of Texas. But I've also learned the countries of the world with this system, and I encourage others to do the same. So I told him I work with geography, and I thought geography is important because I feel that geography knowledge can lead to world peace. And I asked him, I said, "What do you do?" And he didn't tell me what he does now, but he did tell me what he used to do. He had been a Marine. And I think the philosophy is once a Marine, always a Marine, Marine semper fi. But so he had been a Marine and traveled. I said, where did you serve? And he started talking about all these places he'd been: Yemen, the Philippines, uh, Iraq, uh, different areas. And one of the things he talked about was as part of his job, it was not just go around the world uh, hurting people, it was helping people, rescuing people. He talked about different weather phenomenons where they had like an earthquake or something, and they went in and rescued people. I have a personal friend who was in the Navy. He was on an aircraft carrier, and when the Philippines had, I think it was a volcano or an earthquake, that aircraft carrier went in to rescue and help. And my friend told me all kinds of stories about all the things that they had done in a humanitarian aid. And the guy at the bar was telling me the same things. He said he feels like an ambassador to help people of the world because that's the part he did in the Marines. And I asked him again about where he'd been, and we started talking about he'd been to Thailand. I talked about what a beautiful country it was. I have never been to Thailand, but I've got a friend who's married to a lady from Thailand. And she tells me the beauty that she got all these pictures. So I just know that it's a beautiful area. And I started talking. One of the things that he was impressed by is that when he told me where he'd been, I could tell him, "Ah, yes, Yemen in the south part of the Middle East." Uh, and I had something nice to say about all the countries that he'd been to. And he was surprised because he knows that although he's been in so many of these places, when he talks to his friends about where he's been, he says he'd been in Yemen. He sees that they have no idea where Yemen is located. When he talks about Thailand or the Philippines, they've heard of the Philippines. But when he talks about the islands, Leyte, uh, uh, Mindanao, some of those places that he's been, the people he's talking to has no idea where he has been. So he was excited to see somebody he could have a conversation with. So he and I were both on the same page that geography knowledge can help lead to world peace. I'm just going to make this a short video, but before I do, I want to get in and show you how with our system, you can get in and learn the names and locations of the countries of the world. I'm going to go to clickandlearnsoftware.com, and I'm going to click the Play Now button. And I'm not signed in. I'm just at the website. I click this button that says Free Channels. I click the button that says Free Geography Channels. Then it brings up a whole list of topics, different places in the world. And let's say, oh, here's the other thing about this conversation last night. He was so excited to meet somebody who he could talk to about his adventures that he said to me, first of all, I was talking to the bartender and I said, I was going to come in tomorrow and watch the next soccer game. So this guy said, if you're coming back in tomorrow, he said, I'm going to be back in. I want to talk to you more about the places that he had been. And we would talk about geography. And I told him, I said, well, tomorrow, when we get here together, I will recite the 31 countries of Southeast Asia, because that's the area he worked with so much. He'd been in Cambodia. He'd been in Thailand. And I told him I said, tomorrow when we come in, I'm going to be able to recite the 254, I'm talking to Texas there, the 31 countries of Southeast Asia. So with our system, let me get back out and I'll show you how we started this. I go to clickandlearnsoftware.com, click Play Now. I'm not signed in. I'm just a casual user that's passing by. I click the button that says Free Channel. I click Free Geography Channels. And now I'm going to scroll over and I'm going to play the game that would teach me or him or anybody the names and locations of 31 countries of the Southeast Asia. Click this button to click the game. And I'm going to go, I could go into, I start with learn mode. I'm going to show you how this works. It has 7 questions on the screen. It asks you to find Afghanistan. There's only 7 buttons on the screen. One of these 7 buttons is Afghanistan. If I click the right button, I get a green light. The button disappears. The question changes to Bangladesh, and we're racing the clock. It asks for Bangladesh. When I click the wrong button, this is not Bangladesh. This is China. It tells me what I've clicked. So even when I click the wrong button, I'm still learning this is China. Also, we have the Show Me button. You can use the Show Me button. This is Bangladesh. The button disappears. The question changed to Bhutan. I know this is China. I know this is Cambodia. So I'm going to click. Let's see if this is Bhutan. That's Bhutan. It asks for Brunei, Cambodia, and China. Okay, and there's another one, East Timor. I did not beat the clock. I was 28 seconds over. So I would get there and play again. Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Brunei, Cambodia, China, and East Timor. You go through the system and you can learn all 31 countries of the Middle East in about 3 or 4 hours. And that sounds like a lot of time. But when I was in school in 7th grade, we're supposed to learn the 50 states and the countries of the world. We spent a whole semester pretending to learn the 50 states and the countries of the world. And we didn't learn hardly anything. With this system, you can learn the 50 states in one evening. You can learn the country of South America in 24 minutes. And you can learn the country of Southeast Asia in about 3 evenings or 3 hours. I'm going to go back to here. No, I'm going to go back to, I want to show you a couple of other things that once you've learned the countries of in this case, Southeast Asia. Click the game, click the color map game, but instead of being in a learn mode, we're going to move to review mode. In review mode, all 31 questions are on the screen in alphabetical order, so you don't have to look at the question. You know that after you click Afghanistan, it's Bangladesh, Bhutan, Brunei, Cambodia, China, East Timor, India, Indonesia, IHIJ, Japan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Laos, in Malaysia, Mongolia, Myanmar, in Nepal, North Korea, OP, Pakistan, Papua New Guinea, Philippines, PQR, Russia, S, Singapore, South Korea, Sri Lanka, T, Taiwan, Tajikistan, Thailand, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Vietnam. And that's how we review. And let me exit again, and we're going to go right into the next mode is test mode. And we're going to switch to test mode, click single player, click go. And in this case, the questions are in random order. The buttons do not disappear. That's for Bangladesh. If you get it correct, you get a green light. As I got a green light, the question changed to China. That's for Singapore, and so forth. Works the same way. This is how powerful this system is. So anyway, back to my conversation with this guy. He, having been in the Marines, traveled and seen so many places, he was disappointed that when he talks to his friends, they don't know where. They say, oh yeah, you've been to Afghanistan. Well, of course, they've heard of Afghanistan, but do they know where it is? Could they find Iraq on a blank map of the world? Most people cannot. With this system, you can learn the countries of the world, and when you hear about the news, you absorb that news better. I'm going to end this. I just wanted to tell you about another example where by knowing country of the world, you can have a conversation with, I usually talk about having conversation with people from around the world. Met some ladies from China when I was in Utah last week. And you have a conversation, but it's kind of rare that I run into an American. No offense, but Americans don't know hardly anything about geography. But it's rare that I run into an American who cares about geography and knows the importance, because he has seen he's seen the beauty of the world. And he's not afraid of the world. Here's a quote. I got from a philosopher from India. The quote is, what we do not know, we fear. And what we fear, we fight. And with this system, you can learn the country of the world and fear the world less. You have less fear. You have more confidence in yourself. And as this guy was talking about being an ambassador for world peace, you can be an ambassador for world peace. And I think that's important. And that's what I wanted to tell you. I'm going to meet with him tonight. I'll be able to recite all those countries in 31 seconds. We'll have a conversation, and that's enough for now. Thank you for watching. These games are free. Get in and play, and you can become an ambassador for world peace as well, just by knowing the names and locations of the country of the world. That's it for now. It's that easy. Thank you for watching.